Here's a fun one because Matt loves when people say this. It's like sometimes Matt will tell people what we're doing and they're like, oh, like Shark Tank, right? This is just like Brevard Shark Tank. So can you explain maybe the difference between this and that, like the Shark Tank phenomenon? What has that done to people's perception of investing?
Yeah, so I've always watched Shark Tank like many other people. I love it as TV, as entertaining TV. I hate it for the startup world because it's really its own entertainment beast that has no reflection whatsoever on real life. Even though we've been lucky enough to have a company here in the area that's been very successful on Shark Tank, and the entrepreneur is amazing young lady that's just crushing it. But it's really a different world. So Shark Tank tends to focus on consumer goods. That's probably the biggest differentiator. That's the thing that those particular high net worth investors know the most, other than maybe Robert. And so there's different dynamics that go along with that. They can invest a lot less. They can get the company a lot further in terms of sales. But also behind the scenes, each one of those investors has a set of attorneys, people that do due diligence for them. They're all separate. So if you get an investment from 2 or 3 of those sharks on Shark Tank, you have to go through 2 or 3 processes to see who's actually going to be in the deal or not. We're in the world where there's a lot more risk, but the companies have a lot greater ability to hire not just a large number of people, but a large number of high-paying jobs. And again, it's back to the job creation, building the economy, building the local network of entrepreneurs so that they can become serial entrepreneurs and then also give back in terms of wealth. So it's a much more deep and broad experience than what you see on Shark Tank.
It's centered on a community of companies and people that will help that entrepreneur and their team, and a large community of investors who are offering their expertise and offer that. It's a whole different ball game.
And I think that's actually a big differentiator from what I've seen with other angel groups too, is that there is a lot of almost everyone will say they have a community focus. Almost everyone does, but it's different to really rally around, especially at the angel level of things. It's very uncommon to rally around a company and help them with various expertise. And I know this is a repeat for you, Matt, because I tell you this all the time, but that one of the things I love the most is the eclectic group we have. So we've got small business owners that are wildly successful. We've got the corporate people, a lot of people with the DoD background experience, and then startup people. And so now when an entrepreneur comes in, they may be having a conversation with somebody that's never been in their industry or never will be in their industry, but they're taking away like incredible pieces of strategy that they wouldn't have been exposed to if they stayed in their own little world. And that value that can be garnered from that diversity is really, for me, it's super fun.
Absolutely. And one thing I run into, especially in Brevard County too, is, people are typically leery of this type of investing because they like to control their investment. While you invest in our companies, you can't necessarily control your investment. You have the ability to speak into the investment and to look at the entrepreneur and to provide them some experience or some education. So there's a sense of like, I'm contributing something here, and you don't have to. You can be a passive whatever, but if you want to, you can, and it's extremely beneficial. So it is fun to see when that happens.